Black Dog. What's up, man? Here, man. Now, I've been following you for a long time. Brother. And it look like you're starting to do good for yourself. You're doing good, brother. I'm proud of you, man. Finally made it, man. I think you there, you know? Yeah. I just gotta ask you one question. One question, Black Dog. You think I can get that $5, man? Know what I'm talking about? Hey.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
Man, I'm sipping on this Long Island. Just wishing I was somewhere laying on an island. I'm feeling good rolling through the hood. My city loving me just like I knew they would. It took some time, but now I'm on top. I'm steady making moves cause I can't stop. So when you see me, give me my props. Before I say the word and your career stops. Now every day is like a celebration. Remind me of the hard times we was facing. When I was young, I always had this dream to make it big and be up on a winning team. Okay. I get respect from everywhere I go. From 70 up top to 85 below. Now pop a bottle with some Martell. Now sit back and watch how my ship sails.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
I roll around feeling like a champ. I'm validated so I don't need a stamp. I'm working hard trying to reach my goals, but haters telling me that I was too old. But Kelly Ray said make your daddy proud. Now represent, cause you his only child. So now I'm focused, pedal to the metal, switching lanes, doing things, about to reach my highest level. I'm thanking God cause he knew my plan. I put my trust in him, I never trust a man. I got respect for everybody grinding. Shout out to OG Rip, this was perfect timing.
What up, homie?
So put your bottles up and take a sip. Now grab a mic, let's show them how to make a hit. I'm finally playing on your local station. I guess I made it big, it's a celebration.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
Look, let's start it. I'm way too cool. I wish I would've known that when I was in school. Lack of confidence that kept me back. 4 years later, oh, I definitely got that. 2 cars, a house, and a beautiful wife. To me, these are my successes in life. Been working for my company for 7 years. Promotion every 2, yeah, real stunting's here. Check me in the city, it ain't hard to find me. Volunteer events, won't you join in the grind, B? Make the world better, that's my goal. I really am kind, check my soul. What's my name? I'm Dario. Shout out Juicy J, I borrowed the flow. Wanna change the world? Ask me how. Come with me, let's get big now.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
Black Dog, man, look here, man. Look here, brother. I'm really enjoying what you've been doing. I mean, you know, I don't care about the $5. I mean, not really. I mean, I do, but I don't. I just want to hang out with you, man. You know, just take this journey with you, man. You know, all over the world, man. You know, you really doing your thing, man. And I'm so proud, man. You know, so proud, man. Can I get like $2.50? Nah, I'm just saying. $1.50? Come on, man. Let's go, man. I'm out of here, man. All right, Black Dog. Black Dog. What's up, man? Here, man. Now, I've been following you for a long time, brother. And it look like you're starting to do good for yourself. You're doing good, brother. I'm proud of you, man. You finally made it, man. I think you there, you know? Yeah. I just gotta ask you one question. One question, Black Dog. You think I can get that $5, man? Know what I'm talking about?
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
Man, I'm sipping on this Long Island. Just wishing I was somewhere laying on an island. I'm feeling good rolling through the hood. My city loving me just like I knew they would. It took some time, but now I'm on top. I'm steady making moves cause I can't stop. So when you see me, give me my prop. Before I say the word and your career stop. Now every day is like a celebration. Remind me of the hard times we was facing. When I was young, I always had this dream to make it big and be up on a winning team. I get respect from everywhere I go. From 70 up top to 85 below. Now pop a bottle of some Martell. Now sit back and watch how my ship sails.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
I roll around feeling like a champ. I'm validated so I don't need a stamp. I'm working hard trying to reach my goals. But haters telling me that I was too old. But Kelly Ray said make your daddy proud. Now represent, cause you his only child. So now I'm focused pedal to the metal. Switching lanes, doing things, about to reach my highest level. I'm thanking God cause he knew my plan. I put my trust in him, I never trust a man. I got respect for everybody grinding. Shout out to OG Rip, this was perfect timing.
What up, homie?
So put your bottles up and take a sip. Now grab a mic, let's show them how to make a hit. I'm finally playing on your local station. I guess I made it big, it's a celebration.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, they gon' love me when they hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how y'all like me now?
Look, let's start it. I'm way too cool. I wish I would've known that when I was in school. Lack of confidence that kept me back. 4 years later, oh, I definitely got that. 2 cars, a house, and a beautiful wife. To me, these are my successes in life. Been working for my company for 7 years. Promotion every 2, yeah, real stunting's here. Check me in the city, it ain't hard to find me. Volunteer events, won't you join in the grind? Make the world better, that's my goal. I really am kind, check my soul. What's my name? I'm Dario. Shout out Juicy J, I borrowed the flow. Wanna change the world? Ask me how. Come with me, let's get big now.
I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. Man, y'all gon' love me when y'all hear the sound. I'm about to make it big, so how you like me now? I think I'm big now. I think I'm about to shut the whole city down. And they gon' love me when they hear the sound.
All right, how's everybody doing today? I'm all over the place. All right. We got anybody in the chat? Let's take a look here. Can I get somebody to comment in the chat just so I know that we got good audio going? good? That's better. That's better. We're gonna see if we can fix something that I was trying to work on last week that wasn't working. We're gonna get some technical difficulties work out here. How's everybody's day? So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. So as you can see, the lineup that we have today is first quarter topic is going to be the Chiefs. Second quarter topic is going to be us going over those game picks from last week. Third quarter MVP race, and fourth quarter we're going to talk about Deion Sanders, and then overtime is going to be a surprise. So we're going to go ahead and get started into this. Get my clock going. All right, so first topic, we're going to talk about the takeaways from that game against the Bengals. So, as all you guys probably know by now, the Chiefs did lose the game to the Bengals. They lost by 3. Takeaways from that game, Orlando Brown was bad. Orlando Brown got beat consistently, letting pressure get around Patrick Mahomes as he tried to operate in the pocket, and it wasn't good. It wasn't easy to watch. Seeing my quarterback get pressured while the opposing team only sent 3 defensive linemen at him. 3 defensive linemen, and they were getting pressure. What are we doing? I mean, at some point, yes, they're sending 3, they're dropping 8 back in coverage. It is hard to find somebody open when you have that many people back in coverage. But they shouldn't be getting pressure. You got 5 offensive linemen versus 3 defensive linemen, and they're getting pressure. I mean, if we even go back to that towards the end of the game, on that 3rd and 4, where Patrick Mahomes got sacked, then we attempted the 52-yard field goal that Bucker missed. Mahomes got tackled from behind as he was stepping up into the pocket. On that play, you can see Jared McKinnon open for a nice, easy, short toss to just get the first down and keep things going. But they were only sending 3. Pat's like, I got time. Let me step up into the pocket and see what we can make happen. And he gets tackled from behind. Orlando Brown, on a contract year, trying to be paid as a top left tackle. It ain't happening, buddy. It ain't happening. Your only chance to redeem what we saw in that game against the Bengals is for you to ball out in this postseason. Nobody better not get close to Patrick Mahomes this postseason. If nobody gets close to this Patrick Mahomes this postseason, I think then we consider extending you. But right now, I don't want you back. I don't want you back. You've been a liability along with Andrew Wiley. And we're actually one of the lowest sacks ranked teams, but I guarantee you the two most pressures that we get from the team are from Andrew Wiley and Orlando Brown. And Orlando Brown, I don't have as high expectation for Andrew Wiley because we didn't give up so many assets for you. And Andrew Wiley ain't asking for a max contract. Orlando Brown, if you want to be that guy, you got to be that guy. We got to get to the quarterback. When you're going up against a great quarterback such as Joe Burrow, you have to put pressure on him. And we didn't do that. Joe Cool. That's what they call him. Joe Cool. Cool in the pocket, cool under pressure. We didn't make it happen. We didn't make him feel any pressure. So yeah, he was cool. He was laid back. He had all day to do whatever he wanted. Joe Cool. And what the heck was that at the end of the game where 51 had pressure on him and it's like he just stopped? And I know I said secondary maturity. They have elite receivers. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I'm not making the mistake Justin Reed did. I know their names. They got talent over there. Perrine was running all over us. And at the end of the game, I thought the corner was in pretty good coverage. The dude just made a tough catch. And it didn't help that 51 stopped on the play where we could have had a sack and got off the field and at least gave ourselves an opportunity. But that's not why we lost the game. We lost the game because we didn't execute when we needed to. At this point, we average 29 points per game. If we don't score over 24 points, there's a chance we're going to lose. That is the reality of the situation. If we don't score over 24 points, there's a chance we lose. And I didn't even get to talk about our keys to victory next week against our opponent next week. Who we play, the Broncos? I'm not worried about the Broncos. I'm not worried about Russell Wilson. I ain't worried about the Let's Ride. All I know is next week, when we play the Broncos this week, we better prove it. We better prove why we're one of the top teams in the AFC. Because last week, we didn't do it. We didn't do it against the Bengals. I can still keep talking about that topic, but we must commence on to the next topic, game picks. So let's talk about my game picks this week. So last week we picked Buffalo over New England. We picked Dallas over the Colts. We picked Tampa Bay over New Orleans. And I picked the extra game just because I couldn't resist a good matchup between Miami and the 49ers. And I wanted to put my skills to the test. And what we found out was Buffalo came and handled business like they were supposed to against New England. They looked like a contending team against New England. They did what they were supposed to do and beat them. Didn't make it complicated. They did what they were supposed to do. Josh Allen looked like Josh Allen. He didn't have a spectacular game, but he didn't have a bad game. He was 22 of 33 throwing and made things happen. Found his playmakers. They scored, and New England, their defense also held New England in check. For Indianapolis versus Dallas, I'm ashamed they had that game on national TV. Like, what are you doing? I mean, Jeff Saturday, my guy. We talked about, this is your second time being talked about on radio, Dario. Last time we talked about your time management, and this time, you don't want to coach. Or your players don't want to play for you. There's no way Frank Wright didn't have them ready better than that. They all switched up when the Raiders had some success. You guys beat the Raiders and was like, oh, Jeff Saturday he was exactly what this team needed. What we could have looked like at the beginning of the season, like that. What you saw against Dallas is what the Colts would look like if Jeff Saturday was the coach. They would look worse than what they had all season. Because at least with Frank Wright, they were playing competitive ball. They were losing, but they were playing competitive ball. Able to beat the Chiefs, able to stay in games. But Dallas absolutely massacred that team. Matt Ryan threw 3 interceptions. And what's up with that? Everybody's talking about Matt Ryan should ask for a release so the 49ers can pick him up. Matt Ryan doesn't have it no more. 49ers, stay away. He doesn't have it. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But Dallas went ahead, did what they were supposed to do, and they put their foot on their neck, and they dominated a bad team that was coached bad. For the Buccaneers versus Saints, we picked the Buccaneers, and that game was a lot closer than I thought it would be. But as I was sitting there watching the game, I had a thought occur to me. As I watched Tom Brady throw the ball, what felt like every freaking play they lined up for, I thought, does this team run the ball? So I had to check it. You had your running back averaging 5 yards a carry, pretty productive carries out there, and you still trotted Tom Brady out there to throw the ball 53 times. If you throw the ball 53 times, I'm thinking you putting up points. You scored 17. That's your problem. And I know we've all been waiting for that cliff where Brady was going to fall off the cliff. I think we're there. Brady hasn't had it this year. But I think that team can still be effective and can win games, and Brady will find ways to win because he doesn't take sacks and he plays smart and doesn't really turn the ball over. But you got to run it more. Start giving the ball to the running back. But they won, as I predicted, 49ers versus Miami. As I said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. But Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and the 49ers still won. Purdy was out there dealing, which the way Tua performed against that defense, and Nick Bosa was all over him with the 3 sacks, which Tua's been really good about not getting sacked this year, being smart with the ball and playing to his offensive line, and that didn't happen. The 49ers are for real, which I picked them to win, and they won even without Jimmy Garoppolo. This is your next best team after the Eagles in the NFC. I don't care what Dallas did. I'm picking the 49ers over Dallas at this point. All right, we running out of time. I already picked this week's games for the primetime games. We got Oakland versus the Rams. I got the Raiders going ahead and beating the Rams, especially with all the injuries the Rams have. I have the Dolphins beating the Chargers, coming back off of that off week, and then I have New England beating the Cardinals. Even though they're coming off that loss against the Bills, I just think the Cardinals season is over and they just need to try again next year. But what we have now is our first opportunity to score this year with those 4 game picks that we had last week, and we got all 4 of them right. So that's 4 points for the home team, still 0 points for the away team. I'm saying for the rest of the season, let's shut them out. Let's shut them out. No points to the away team. So let's go ahead and tally up our points. That was 1 point for the Bills versus New England game, where we chose the Bills. That's 2 points for 49ers and Miami, and the 49ers won. That's 3 points for Dallas versus the Colts, and we picked Dallas to beat the Colts. And that's 4 points for Tom Brady going ahead and securing a win against the Saints. So that's 4 points to 0. We got the lead there. We just saw my game picks for this week coming up with the Raiders Rams. And if we can get another clean sweep, we could be looking at a 7-0 start to the point system we have here. If you guys get any ideas how we can incorporate the point system more with each topic and each quarter, that'd be really cool. Maybe get the chat involved in some of that. But starting off with a 4-0 lead to get this thing rocking and rolling. As we go on to our next topic here, we are going to talk about the MVP race. So, for the MVP, let's go ahead and start the clock, get this quarter rolling. For the MVP race, who is leading your MVP race? So as you see there, we got a graphic of Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes. Let's start off with Tua. I should have got a different graphic. I was running a little bit behind coming into the studio to get this show going. But Tua ain't on the MVP race no more. He's gone. 49ers took him out. Took him out of the MVP race. My new graphic would actually have Joe Burrow. It would have Joe Burrow on that MVP race up there with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. If we look at some of the statistics out there when it comes to Joe Burrow, like I can't be a hater. After Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow is the next best quarterback in the NFL. He is the only quarterback that I will have the conversation with of being in that conversation with Patrick Mahomes. He's not with Pat Mahomes because we still got to look at the realistics of all of it. Pat Mahomes has an MVP trophy and he has a Super Bowl. And he has a Super Bowl MVP. But what gets Joe Burrow in that conversation is he's beaten Mahomes 3 consecutive times now. And now he's in the MVP conversation. And he has made it to a Super Bowl. And he has won an AFC championship. Where I would never entertain it for Josh Allen being in the conversation with Patrick Mahomes. Because Josh Allen hasn't won an MVP. Hasn't won an AFC championship game. Never been to the Super Bowl. Hasn't won when it mattered. But Joe Burrow has. He's beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times. He's beat us in the biggest game out there, AFC Championship game, next to the Super Bowl. If he would have won the Super Bowl last year, I probably would be talking about Joe Burrow neck and neck with Pat Mahomes. But he didn't. So he has one down. He just doesn't have the accolades to match up with Pat Mahomes. But he's proven. He's the deal. We look at the stats. Pat Mahomes has thrown a lot more yards than him so far. 3,800 yards compared to Joe Burrow's 3,446. But he's second to Patrick Mahomes. But one thing I think that's really impressive about what Joe Burrow has been doing, he's been pressured a lot more than Pat Mahomes with 34 sacks on the taking 34 sacks on the season in comparison to Mahomes 19. But his completion percentage is 69%. And that's skewed a little bit because he has elite weapons that I rate higher than Pat Mahomes' weapons, but he's building an MVP candidate resume. The stats are there. Team success is starting to come there. Significant wins are there. He beat the Chiefs in a big game. He's starting to build the resume to be in that conversation. Jalen Hurts, of course, the obvious there is his team is winning. They've only lost 1 game on the season. But when we look at Jalen Hurts' stats, he's 500 yards behind 500 yards behind Joe Burrow, and he's what did I say? Jalen Hurts is at 2,900, so he's 900 yards behind Pat. But Jalen Hurts is having an incredible year as well. But I just don't see him being as dynamic as Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes has been this year. Now, one thing I will say about Jalen Hurts is his most recent game against the Titans definitely keeps him up there in that conversation. Almost threw for 400 yards and handled a Titans team that held Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow at 20 points. That's impressive because we saw Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes go up against that same team he just balled out against and not have success. So my MVP race ladder goes Patrick Mahomes first, Jalen Hurts second, Joe Burrow third. In that order. But Joe Burrow's coming. Pat if you don't handle the Broncos like you need to handle the Broncos, Jalen Hurts, if you don't stay on it, Joe Burrow's coming. He's coming. And he's got pedigree. And he's Joe Cool. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this next topic here. We have Sanders. We're gonna talk about Deion Sanders. Let's go ahead and start the clock. All right, so here with Deion Sanders. What are your thoughts on Sanders leaving Jackson State? I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Give me 1 second. Somebody's asking, how do they get to the show? So I'm just letting them know. Go on YouTube, check out Radio Dario, and we're going to do the thing. So, a lot of people have been saying Deion Sanders. I've heard sellout. I've heard he lied to us. I've heard he was talking about the culture at Jackson State and how we need to pump up our HBCU, and how him going to Colorado and taking a Power 5 job is so contradicting for all the things he said over the past years of him being at Jackson State University. My question is, why can't both be true? Why can't every statement he made at Jackson State about wanting to uplift the HBCU, about wanting to bring opportunities there, about turning the focus on HBCU and being able to get out there and get NFL teams to scout talent out there, why couldn't all of that still be true and him still take this opportunity? I think sometimes we feel like people's success and them elevating themselves holds us back. Like, we're not going with them. This is the thing. Deion Sanders did the right thing, in my opinion. He did everything he said he was going to do. I mean, did you guys see how many uniforms Jackson State University had when he was there? That's not happening if he doesn't go there. Let's see. It's about $22 million difference. He would be a fool not to. I'm just saying. I don't see no lies. But let's think about where he's going and what have we ever asked ourselves, what is his ultimate goal? What is he trying to accomplish? I heard Deion Sanders say several things on that podium, but the word that stood out to me number one and most was elevate. He said, if you don't elevate yourself, you will go the other way. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that is true statements in life. If you don't challenge yourself and continue to try to elevate yourself, and you stay stagnant, they ain't gonna show no loyalty to you. If he goes on and has a couple of bad seasons at Jackson State, they gonna cut him loose. And he's gonna miss, and he's gonna look back on it and look back on this situation and say, hey, I didn't take this opportunity and I didn't strike when the iron was hot to be able to elevate myself. But by him elevating himself, and if he go do the same thing and the things we know he can do, what we just saw him do at Jackson State, he go do that at Colorado and he has success, guess what? He's gonna have an opportunity to elevate himself again. And when he elevates himself again, what will that be? And then if he does it again and he elevates himself again, what will that be? And if he elevates himself again, what will that be? What are the opportunities and mindsets and influences he can have if he continues to elevate himself? That's what we gotta focus on. Let's not look at it like he's a sellout, like he's leaving us. if we don't have the people in our community trying to be successful and trying to elevate themselves, we won't push it forward. He's pushing the envelope forward. We need a coach like Deion Sanders to continue to rise and elevate so that he can continue to impact and opportunities for people that come behind him. It's a lonely walk that he's on, and I appreciate him for going on it. And I still sit here and appreciate everything he did at Jackson State University, and I still believe every word he said when he was there to be true. That he believes HBCU should have a focus on it, should have a highlight on it. I believe he still believes that NFL teams need to go out there and see the talent there because the talent is there. And he created that spotlight there, and that's HBCU's responsibility to continue to drive this thing forward and continue to build off the momentum that he set in place. It doesn't, hey, one man can change the world, and he started it off, now everybody else need to follow. Prime trying to get to Florida, that's the end goal to me. Hey, Nick Saban making $9 million a year as a college coach. Deion just took a $5 million contract. He showed success. Somebody gonna give him a contract like that. And I don't know if he ever wants to elevate to the NFL level or anything like that, but but that's my whole point. And he said the word elevate. If he continues to push the envelope and elevate, what can he get to? At this point in time, we just need to support him and appreciate the greatness that we're seeing out of him and continue to just take notes. All right, so that is our 4 quarter topics. Now we go into the overtime topic. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna play a video today. So we're gonna pull up a video and we're gonna just vibe out for the Can We Talk About It topic and check out a song. Now, I'm going to dedicate this song right here to my boy Deion Sanders. So for the Can We Talk About It section, I need y'all to vibe out with me one time for Deion. And let's do the thing. I'm going to put my thing on mute. We're gonna cut off the background and we're gonna check out this video. But this for you, Prime. It's the man right here. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 11 of Radio Dario. Like I said, let's not hate on Deion Sanders in this moment. Let's just think about where he could possibly be taking this thing at. Like I said, it's all about elevating, and that's what we need to do. We need to support him and help him elevate and not take things so personal. That ain't a personal attack, the decision he made. Let's go ahead and submit that man. He's the man right here. All right. Catch y'all next week. We'll try to be better on the topics. I know we ran out of time on a lot of them, but